Hi, I'm Margaret and welcome to the Gardening Me. Today I am going to give you a little bit of a tour of the vegetable garden. Now, I have been away for about a week. I just got back a few days ago, and of course one of the first things I did was take a tour of the garden. The funny thing is, when I got back, I drove this time all the way to Wisconsin because flights were a little bit wonky, and I got back home around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I literally, the first thing I did was I grabbed my cell phone flashlight and I came into the vegetable garden to see what was going on. I missed my garden, but now I'm back. And now it's full steam ahead getting things done. There are quite a few things to harvest, and there's a few things to pull out and reseed. All in all, I'm quite happy with how everything is turning out, and I thought I would give you a little bit of a tour. I'm not sure if you recall how it looked, but I may put a few clips in here of what the vegetable garden area looked like, specifically this area where the bed wasn't even in or anything like that. About a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. Now, a lot of this stuff is quite behind, maybe 3 weeks behind or so, because the rabbit proofing took so long for me to get done. But you know what? I'm good. I'm good with everything. These are the beans. I did a video on sowing, I believe, 6 varieties of beans, and they are doing pretty well. No pods yet, but not too bad. Here we have dahlias that I also did a video about. These are the ones that I purchased, and most of them are coming up. Uh-oh. I'm not liking the look of that. Oh, that is not what I want to see. I don't know. Oh, that definitely goes in there. I don't know what was digging in there, but that's not good. Thankfully, the dahlia still looks okay. It's not wilty or anything, so hopefully that's a good sign. Okay, so here I have a couple that I saved in this row. This is Candy Stripes. And here, Mexican Star, I had, I think, a couple of tubers here, and it doesn't look like anything came up on that. So, not that great. Cafe au lait, again, I think I had a couple of tubers and only one has come up. And this one here, Strawberry Cream, same thing, one's come up. Kelsey, Annie, Joy, 2 have come up on that. So, not bad. Not bad on those, not great on the other ones, the first ones. Here are the poppies, and I am saving seeds from some. And actually, because so many are up now, you can see I've actually bagged a few so that they don't cross-pollinate. I did a video on how I'm keeping track of all the varieties in here. I wanted to show you a couple though. This is hens and chicks. Look at this. I mean, that's what I would call a very unique pod. And then look at this one here. These here are giant rattle. Oh my God. Look at how huge these are. They're so big. I can't wait until these are dry. Don't know what I'm going to do with them, but Here we have the Bells of Ireland. Now, I'm sure these are supposed to be a lot taller. They are, I don't know, 12 inches tall. Doesn't seem very tall to me. But the hollyhock as well, I feel like it should be getting taller. I think the lack of rain is affecting a lot of things. The Tithonia is looking really quite nice. And here I have some Scabiosa, and there's the stalks, which are still going. And on this side here, this is Bergamo Minarda, so it's probably going to start blooming soon. On this side of this bed, I've just planted some small snow peas, And the varieties are, I have, Sugar Daddy, which is actually a sugar snap pea on this side. These, poor germination, not that good. These, Oregon Sugar Pod Snow Pea, much better. No peas yet. I planted these super late. I mean, these like cool weather, so I have no idea how they're going to do in the heat of summer, but I guess we'll find out. Here we have some eggplant. I have 4 eggplant, 4 different varieties. It is flowering. You can see there. I don't see any fruits yet. So, but I'm sure they're on the way. And here's the peppers, and let's see if I can, I know I saw a few peppers here. Oh, here we go. See, there's a pepper. Ooh, exciting. This is pepperoncino, so that means that's probably about half as big as it's going to get, so it won't be too much longer. I'll be able to pick that. So there are all the peppers. Here is my Riesentraub tomato that I had the extra. Oh, and I see baby tomatoes coming. Oh, so exciting. I have a few marigolds, and I have 4 parsley plants that I actually just harvested from today. Here are my cucumbers. I only have 4 plants. I decided to be sparing with the cucumber plants this year. Normally I would grow twice as many in this spot, but this time instead of 1 every 16 inches or so, I just decided to do 1 every 2 feet and just let them do their thing. I think I'll still have more than enough, but these are definitely going to be the first to harvest. Look at that. These are Summer Dance, and they are a English style cucumber. You know, those ones that are kind of long and glossy with hardly any seeds. I have ones coming up. This one here, what is this one? Garden Sweet. So this one is a pickling one, and this is the only pickling type I have. This is a new variety. This one here, let me see if I can find any cucumbers. I don't think I see any. So this one here, this plant is called Tasty Treat. And so far, I do not see any cucumbers on it yet. And then further down, I have Green Finger. And this is a last chance one. This one I've grown a couple of times. I've always had bad luck with it. It hasn't really produced that well. The cucumbers are okay, but nothing phenomenal. And I thought I'm going to give it one more shot to see how it does, because I think each time I felt there may have been extenuating circumstances, but this is it. If it doesn't do well this year, then this one is coming off the list. Oh, and I do see a tiny little cucumber forming right there. On the other side, I have some zinnias here. They are just starting to bloom. Again, everything is super short this year, and I'm fairly confident it's the heat coupled with lack of water and the sandy soil mix that's in here. Here are some snapdragons, which are looking nice and full. No blooms yet on those. And I have some scabiosa here and straw flowers over here. Covered in netting, these are the onions, and we get leek moths. They decimate the onions unless I cover them. So I'm going to just pull up the cover here so we can take a little bit of a peek, because they are actually starting to bulb up a little bit. Can I get in there? There, see? Starting to bulb up. The thing with the netting is it is a right pain to deal with, because taking it off to weed, and also because I don't have drip irrigation, watering through it. I mean, I do water through it, but you can't really tell how well you're saturating the soil. But I think the onions are going to be pretty good this year. They look like they're coming along really well. Okay, on this side here, we have more zinnias. We have a few plants. Whoops, this guy fell over. That I still have to plant. These are actually held over from last year. I healed them into one of the beds over the winter, and I still have to get them in the ground. So we have zinnias, which I have harvested a few of these already. Oh, look at this one. I believe this one is a Queenie Lime Red. And remember the dahlias I grew from seed? They're starting to flower as well. These are way ahead, obviously, of the ones that I planted with the tubers, but that's okay. And here are the asters. I have some king size apricot, king size formula mix, and Bengali rose. Nothing yet, but it does look to me like it's going to be flowering very soon. And I have 2 rows of tomatoes in here, and the rows are about 2 feet apart, and each tomato plant is about 2 feet apart within the row as well. So I have 8 plants per bed, and then what I've done is right along this edge right here, I have sowed some basil. I direct seeded it this year, and it is just starting to get some size. I think I seeded it about 2 weeks ago. And I seeded a mix. It's a Botanical Interests custom blend. What I did was I put 2 or 3 seeds in each spot, and then I just thinned them to the one that I wanted, because I wanted to kind of have a mix. And I think there's about 3 or 4 different varieties in here. So I got some purples, and this is kind of like a purple that kind of has a little bit of green on it. This as well looks like a different variety, is much more of a pointy leaf. So I just kind of mixed it up when I was thinning them out. And then here along this edge of the bed, and there are 2 tomato beds, as you can see, there's the other one, I have nasturtiums. And I can't recall what the variety of these is. I don't see a label, so I guess I didn't put a label in here. I am seeing some tomatoes. This one here is Bloody Butcher, and look, oops, there we go. Little tomatoes are forming on this. This is a salad type tomato. And they're not doing too bad. Once again, these got a really slow start. Oh, I'm seeing another tomato here, right there. This one is Amos Coley. It's a paste tomato. And I'm pretty sure I also have some baby Mexico midget, because they're often the ones. Oh yeah, Mexico midget. This is one of my favorite cherry tomatoes. It's getting a little bit of size. Over in this bed, we have the Swiss Chard, which is doing amazingly well after a slow start. Let's go on this side here. It was a slow start because these plants were being attacked by leaf miners. And so you'll see the hoops. I actually put these up and I covered them with netting for the last month or so. And I found in the past that generally about beginning to mid of July, that the leaf miner pressure is drastically reduced. So I can often take the netting off and I won't really end up getting too much damage after that. But I have a few different varieties in here, including, oh, look at this guy. This is a huge one here. What is this one? Oh, this is a Portuguese one, Verde de Bianca. Wow, that is, I mean, look at the size of that leaf. Okay, I'm going to put my hand down. That's a big leaf. This is Ford Hook Giant here, this next one. And down there with the red stems, I think I have 4 of the rainbow chard. And what I did is I sowed a bunch of them and picked like 4 different colors for that when I was thinning them out. This is one of my favorites. This one, I don't even have to look at the tag. This is peppermint. And it is by far one of my favorites, not only because of how gorgeous it looks. I mean, look at those stems. But I find it also is one of the best tasting ones. I really, really like it. Okay, so the lettuce, I'm actually going to be pulling a lot of this out tomorrow. Several of these are bolting, and a few that are not bolting yet, such as the devil's tongue here and the slow bolt here, actually have taken on a rather bitter taste. So all of those I'm pulling out. The only one that I'm leaving for now is this. And this one is the Batavian Concept. And that one actually still tastes quite good. It has no bitterness yet, but it'll probably be any day now. So actually what I think I'm probably going to do is I am going to cut that off too. And instead of doing my normal harvesting it every one leaf at a time, I will be harvesting the entire head. But as soon as I pull these out tomorrow, I'm going to get some more seeds in. This is the Mizuna. So that's gone to flower. I haven't cleaned up these beds yet since I got back, but I have to do that for that one. And this I'm going to be harvesting tomorrow as well. These are some Chinese cabbage. They're a Joy Choy, I believe, and they're looking pretty good. This is Tatsoi, and as well, this is going to get harvested tomorrow too. It's probably just on the verge of bolting as well. Now, these have not really done that well. These are beets. So you can see here, there's leaf minor damage. I did not have this bed covered, and in retrospect, I should have probably sowed the beets right next to the chard and just covered the whole thing. But I do have some beets here, you can see, but I mean, these things are tiny. I don't know if they're going to grow anymore. It's been so dry. This is Future Margaret, and I realized as I was editing the video that I didn't show one thing, and these are the turnips. I'm going to harvest one right now. Look at that. That's beautiful. I love, these are salad turnips. This is a Japanese turnip, and the variety is Tokinashi, I believe. Apologies if I'm butchering that name. I will put it up on the screen. I love Japanese turnips because they are so delicious and mild. You just toss them in a salad. Oh, yum all around. So here is the kale that I sowed. There are some holes, but it's funny, I haven't really seen any cabbage worms on these yet. The holes might be from earwigs. So, but all of these are good to harvest. This is the curly kale. So pretty. And the lacinato kale is also gorgeous with that blue color. And last but not least, here we have 2 broccoli plants. This one is Purple Peacock, and this one is Aspa Brock. This is where I can really tell the difference between these new beds, where the soil is so sandy and it's been hot and with no irrigation, and it's a huge difference in what the broccoli plants look like this year versus what they've looked like in years past at around this time. And I may even, hopefully I can find a photograph of what they would normally look like around middle of July, but it's a lot bigger than this. Usually I'm almost at the point where I'll be harvesting some broccoli by this point. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I'll put the picture on the screen and we can judge. And here are the Brussels sprouts. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek. Well, not really a sneak peek. I really hope you enjoyed this tour of the vegetable garden. I do have other things in the hilltop garden, the garlic, the potatoes. I actually have not been going up there very often, and I have yet to run a hose up there. So everything that is growing on that hilltop is a little bit iffy at the moment because it has literally gotten no water other than the few bits of rain that we've gotten over the last couple of months. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.